Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so sorry about the delay there on everything, and I'm also super sorry about the fact that I've had to delay this progression on 7.5 MSQ for as long as what I've had. Um, Trust me, I've been so hyped to continue the MSQ here. I was just having some mental health issues last week and really needed to focus on that. So I do deeply apologize about that. Um, so pumped for having a daytime stream during the week now. Because trust me, you guys would not have wanted me to stream last night because I was so absolutely exhausted. I'm actually going to switch to just talking here, so that way the game isn't distracting here for a minute. And I look a little funky there in VTube Studio. Let me get rid of that and let me fix my my character height here on the screen. There we go. There we go. Now I look a little bit better. Um, so what I want to mention is TikTok. I feel like I talk about TikTok so much on stream. And the reason I want to bring up TikTok in particular is because uh, I know that's where most of my follower base is at. And originally, when I started streaming, I was like, yeah, I'm going to start streaming to, or I'm eventually going to add TikTok to those platforms. And here we are months later. I still haven't done it. And at this point, I can almost confidently say that TikTok is actually never going to be added to one of my platforms. And there are quite a few reasons why. I won't go into necessarily all of those reasons, but one of the big reasons is because of privacy concerns. With privacy concerns, I actually uninstalled TikTok from my phone last week. Because apparently they go into even more of your phone than what you realize. Like they know your location even if you don't give it permissions for your location and stuff like that. And for the protection of my family, I don't want to be doxxed or anything like that, so I uninstalled TikTok from my phone. And because TikTok doesn't want you doing that, it doesn't load properly in an incognito browsers. And like there was just so much with it that I was like, I am not comfortable with how TikTok is doing stuff here. Particularly since it's like I VTube, I use a VPN, like I take the extra steps to protect my family from doxing and stuff like that. So I'm like, if you're not gonna respect that TikTok, then I'm just not gonna use you. And I will use other platforms that will respect my privacy at the very least. Like, so I do apologize about that. For those of you that have been waiting for me to come on TikTok, it's just an unfortunate thing there that they sort of forced my hand on that. Again, I do really, really, really apologize for it. But anyhow, I do apologize also. I have to manually move everything on my screens instead of using my stream deck. Because like right before starting a stream, OBS decided to crash, and it seems like the controllers that were allowing my stream deck and OBS to communicate aren't properly connected right now. And I don't want to delay stream any further, so I'm like, let's not do that. Let me get the queue started for this trial, and then I will talk about where we are at with everything. So we are at the trial, by the way. But with this trial, like everything that led up to it is that we've had Void Scent coming onto the source again. Thought we dealt with them, but they're still they started coming again. And Living Way, freaking out, rushed to her aid. Raha, Stola came to help us, and Stola had the key with her. And we'd already hypothesized that the key had something to do with Azim's crystal and Azim in general. And as we go to do all of this, the crystal begins to glow and it resonates with that key, and they came together, and a voice that named the key Ethos said, "Go forth and unite the stars." Well, we haven't had time to even think about the fact that it said this, because as soon as we charged forward, we ended up at the Red Moon, and we see Golbez and Zero are fighting pretty intensely, and we need to help them. And here we are with Inuo. Inuo is a void sent from the depths of the ocean, and he's been trying to breach the void gate. Golbez and Zero have been dealing with the underlings, and it's up to us to deal with Inuo himself. So that's the trial here, is we're getting ready to deal with Inuo, and try to deal with all of that is about to happen. So that way, hopefully the void sent do not come back to the source again. But yeah, like our character at this point hasn't had much time at all to really think about what was meant by that voice saying, "Unite the stars onto one." Like, is this Azim's voice talking to us, trying to tell us what we should have been doing this whole time? Did Ascian somehow get a hold of this stuff and talk through it? Because it wasn't Emmett. Like despite the fact that Hithodeus and Emmett and everything, like, despite their connections with Azim and the crystal and all that stuff, it wasn't their voices that told us to go forth and unite the stars on the one. It wasn't them. So we're left here wondering what exactly is going on. Why are we doing the exact same that we've been fighting against? We haven't been wanting to unite the stars onto. We've been wanting to keep the source and its reflections separated, because uniting them onto one is causing these calamities, is causing a lot of death and destruction, and a lot of imbalance. So from what we've done in the past, doing that seems bad. We're like, well, now all of a sudden we have these instructions saying, do it. So, little bit of mixture happening. I do apologize about the queue time. I queued as healer to try to speed it up, but because it's a daytime queue, it could take a little bit longer. Say average wait time of 14 minutes. But we already have a tank, both healer slots, and a DPS slot filled up, so I don't imagine it taking it the full 14 minutes. That just happens to be the nature of daytime, because a lot of people work. They're like, I had a job at one point, but I'm not gonna get into that necessarily. And Inuo here, like we've got back into the dark looking stuff. We had that nice pretty dungeon before this, and I know several of you said, "Oh my gosh, I love this. This is so beautiful. It's so gorgeous. Such a nice change from the dark." And because we are dealing with not the 13th, or well, I guess we are technically dealing. We actually are dealing with the 13th. We are dealing with the void. We are dealing with that darkness. We do have more of that darkness happening here. I do find it interesting, all of the glyphs that are around the arena. Like that looks interesting. Platform seems kind of small. But does look like there's a wall of death that potentially is going to be there for this fight. I'm doing this 100% blind, by the way. I have not seen anything for this fight. Like, I know people that have cleared the extreme and stuff, but I did not watch, I did not participate or anything like that in there. This is going to be first time completely blind. his character design kinda reminds me a little bit more of Rubicante. Despite Rubicante being red, primarily, and this guy having red accents is more purple. They just, I guess maybe it's the face. And the fact that he's just kind of, like, his stance and stuff, like, his character design just kind of reminds me a bit of Rubicante. Might also be the tentacles, because Rubicante had his cloak back and had a lot of the waving happening with the cloak. Also, of course, because of all the calls to Final Fantasy IV, I feel like this is also very reminiscent of Final Fantasy IV. I didn't actually play Final Fantasy IV. I played a lot of Final Fantasy III, and like I'm getting a lot of the vibes from it. But I also am like, I know that obviously they had to adjust some things from 4, but 4 was probably still had some inspiration from 3, like character design and models and stuff. So like this like reminds me of some of the mobs. So it should be interesting. And no, average wait time, you're not supposed to be going up. Like we started at 11, we went up to 14, and now we're to 17. Like no. I queued as a healer to try to use healer privilege. Like seriously. Cross data center parties. That can't come fast enough. Like I feel like that will help so much with some of these queue times. But honestly, more so, I'm excited about that party finder. That party finder, like, it's so sad losing so many people, having to go over to Aether just so they could queue for extremes and Savage, Ultimates, like, because all of that's happening on Aether. Like, because I'm on Crystal, it hasn't been happening on Crystal for, like, pretty much since you could go over to other data centers. But I mean, even Primal, like, you have to go from Primal over to Aether. Being able to do all that really helped Dynamis, because poor Dynamis doesn't have very many players, but I think this will also just be so helpful for our Dynamis players, because there's not as many of them at the moment, and I think that having cross-world or the cross-data center stuff, like they could happily stay on Dynamis, still reap all their benefits of being on Dynamis, still feel like they could join free companies on Dynamis and engage in those free companies. Like, I can't even imagine trying to grow a free company on Dynamis. Like, that just seems absolutely insane to me right now. Like, I have a free company that's over there, but it's literally, it just has a couple of my alts in it, so that way I could run some separates. Like, it's not one that I've actively tried to grow or anything like that. Rather than moving out, let's look a little bit more around the arena. Wait, what are those things? What are these red things? Like, are they wrapped around like some sort of weapon? Or are they just some sort of other generic decoration? Like, I see, like, these curvy things are just bones. But, like, let me move my cursor over. So my cursor still doesn't properly show up over the game when I'm streaming. I do apologize about that. I'm still working on trying to get that to render properly. But these curved things look very bone-like, but the red, I'm like, what is that? Is that like some sort of weapon that's wrapped up or something? Like, what is that? Looks cool, but I want to know what it is. Oh, we've got a whole bunch of glyphs above us too, so it's not just a okay. Like, so is it like making a dome? Okay. I mean, I'm not commenting too much on the ring here because I'm like, that's obviously a Zim's ring. So I'm like, Alright, let's see. Some waves in the chat there. Get our little introduction to this fight. Okay. I promise my cursor actually is moving on the screen.
All who dare oppose me shall quake before the
So I am totally going to be making mistakes throughout this fight too, because I am using a new computer mouse, a new MMO. And I am getting used to where the grid is at. I am used to a Logitech G600 that finally died like a few weeks ago. And in its death, I finally replaced it recently. And in that replacement...
perish.
Okay, so he's... In that replacement, I replaced it with a Steel Series, and with the Steel Series, the grid on it is so different. I'm just going to throw a shield on that. Okay, I see. Where is my... Okay. Like, I added some grippy things onto... Nope. Oh no. Yeah, we are... Yeah, we had to run towards each other because of how we positioned ourselves. I did not realize that was going to end up being the case.
Doth the yawning rift not tempt you?
Jeez, okay. I will get used to this mouse at some point.
The void consumes. Naught will endure. Neither past nor future.
Okay, so is he... Okay, so he's sending us his thumbs to the void here. Okay. I feel like I chose the wrong place to go. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't pick a melee job. I don't know why. I do not like ad phases as a melee. I absolutely hate them with a burning passion. And I say I don't know why, but I guess it depends on the melee job. Like, I still hate them with a passion on just about all of them. But I hate it the most on things like ninja. Because typically they come up during burst phase.
You must break free.
But it typically happens during like burst phase, and with Ninja's burst phase, it's only a single target that you put your buff on. You don't give a whole party buff like some of the other jobs do. And it would always piss me off.
Life and death rendered meaningless.
can already tell like some different ways that I want to. I've added like some little grippies to help me find where I'm at on this MMO mouse. The SteelSeries just
light protect us.
grid's just not all that great out of box. But I feel like
I will not yield my domain.
Further adjust it.
Such is the power of the void.
Okay. Like that was very obviously going to be a massive room wide. Okay, so apparently that is a...
The void shall never cease to be. My power is absolute.
There's where my thumb is at. I was like, Okay, so it's going from...
The void's power is mine to wield.
Okay.
Thus did all boundaries cease to be.
Throw another shield out.
Behold the truth of this world. Accept your downfall.
Oh good, I don't have it this time. Food. I think I can get this person up.
Doth the yawning rift not tempt you? Be still.
Oh, whoops. Ah, jeez. Okay. Nope, that's not the button I wanted. I wanted to sprint. I wanted to sprint. Whew.
Doth the yawning rift not tempt you? Be
Oh, there I go. Oh no. Okay. The resers are down, but we have only got 6% left, so just...
And thus did all boundaries cease to be.
Throw some wings out. Throw some big shields out. Oh my gosh. They're doing great. Oh man. Yeah, that was...
They must be sealed away.
Ugh, okay. I could see where the extreme of that would be extra messy. no Barbarisha with her air tornadoes and shit, but oh, we have a crystal. We have a crystal. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm giving it to that warrior. Yeah, totally giving that to warrior. Like, and one combination for that, like, I cannot say I'm surprised. Like, I died a couple times, but it didn't matter how many times I res. Like, as soon as I knew I had to res other people, I was like, nope, not gonna get comms. No appreciation. Yippee! Yay!
I'm glad you came. We would have struggled to face Enuo alone.
Well, yeah, my party even struggled with it. Including me, I died a few times.
I presume you journeyed here to prevent more void scent from passing through the gate.
Look, yes. Like, what would give you that?
Enuo defeated, there are none left in this realm who pose a serious threat. I dare say the problem is resolved.
I feel like you're being hasty about that, Golbez, because, like, especially since the Asians created this problem already with you guys, because you guys ended up being their guinea pig and created this issue. Like, I could see the Asians coming back here and causing more problems, but also, like, based upon like how Emmett was talking, like I knew that the Paragons gave up. Like, there's like, no, there's no point, but we don't have the Paragons. Paragons are all gone. All three of them. We'd handled all three of them. So now the remaining Asians are kind of acting, from our perspective, a little bit more roguelike at the moment. I'm sure they are not completely acting roguelike, but I mean, we'll see with the story and everything. But I would not say that the problem is like just like say it's resolved like completely or anything like that. I would assume that the problem, at the very least for now, we're okay. Until the Asians come in and decide to fuck shit up again. There's also that, like, the point that my character is making in the first one was, alas, the voids that have been merging from fissures across the source, or have you noticed any abnormalities in the void of late? Personally, I feel like the first one is the better question, or the better statement, because, of course, there's some abnormalities. Like, we had Inuo potentially causing those. Like, they are very focused on Inuo at the moment. But pointing out, hey, the voids that have been emerging from elsewhere, we're not 100% sure if that has to do with Inuo or not. Like, that could be the Asians' work.
Cause for alarm indeed. Tell us more.
Okay, yeah. I had a feeling that it was like, they might not know. And in this case, it seems like I was right. Like, Zero did not know. There is a reason to be alarmed here. So, let's see. Let's see what they think.
So the breach wasn't limited to the Void Gate.
No, it wasn't. It was all over the place.
Better or worse, precious little has changed in the 13th since the Romus fell. Have you noticed anything unusual?
I know not the reason events have unfolded this way, but there is, perhaps, an explanation as to why the Void Gate and the fissures opened.
Well, I would assume there's an explanation. There has to be an explanation. Something has to be behind it. We might not know what it is. We might not necessarily have the but a reason or an explanation is got to be out there somewhere. Hey, Neris, good to see ya.
Here, in my domain, even the slightest change is keenly felt.
Totally understandable, Neris. Totally understandable. Uh, um, oh, I told it to, apparently I accidentally, selected, kept Twitch selected. I meant to only send that in Kick. But let's see, so Golbez is like, even the size change keenly felt. So yes, the red moon is his domain. This is his space. So he's gonna be able to tell. So that's helpful.
When the gate opened, I sensed not the workings of some external force.
Okay.
Rather, it felt as if the barrier between our worlds was weakening naturally, moment by moment, until the two came to meet.
Oh, so we have, oh shit. Oh shit. So it seems like we have a rejoining happening. They figured out how to get the void to join us. Well, crap. Crap. That's not what we want. Like,
And you think this weakening could be happening elsewhere?
"'Tis a possibility."
okay.
What of Razat-Han and Garlemald?
Like, that's where that's where fissures are showing up the most, but
Eulus took mercy upon the interloper.
oh yes, him and his cute crushing ways made something for you.
Targaryen, we all share the same longing for home. Should we meet, I will gladly offer them aid. Please tell Eulus as much.
Now, is this going to be the moment where I hand her the food?
Wait, how exactly did you get here? No mortal could traverse the Void Gate in its current state.
Yeah, just the other day I was actually thinking about this because especially with that voice coming in and talking to us and us having flashes of like memories and stuff like that. Like, it's starting to, and honestly I've kind of wondered ever since our souls joined with Ardbert, like how close are we ourselves to getting Azim's memories back? Because we are Azim. And it's like I'm like, are there still fractures of our soul elsewhere, or were Ardbert and I the last two? Which, in my opinion, would make the most sense because we both had Echo so strong within us, and especially our soul was a very strong soul. His soul was a pretty strong soul. So it makes sense that our two souls were the last of Azim's souls. need to rejoin together. So does that mean that now we are the full-fledged Azem again? And going to start getting Azem's memories back in the way that we saw Fandaniel getting his memories back? Because Fandaniel was also sundered. Hermes was sundered. And when his souls reacted, or not reacted, rejoined together and everything like that, he eventually got his memories back and everything, and, you know, was off the freaking deep end. And so it's like, well, are we going to start getting those memories back? Like, and like she says here, no mortal could traverse the void gate. And it's like, well, if we are the completely remerged Azem now, we're an Ascian. We're not immortal anymore. Which could explain so much of us as the Warrior of Light nowadays. So, curious. But also, I have the key, so, like, that's the easier explanation. But I'm still wondering, is our soul still sundered somewhere, or are we complete as Azem again? And actually a full-blown ass.
And this path of yours is still there. I cannot see it.
I think I just got my answer. Like, that is very reminiscent of how I feel like the Ascians make their little portals to go places. Our key joined with our soul crystal, or not our soul crystal, but our Azem's crystal makes this portal and just lets me port to where I want to go now. So I feel like, yeah, I think we're Nassian now, guys. But he might be able to sense it. This is his domain.
Nor does it reveal itself to me. Perhaps the path serves only the key bearer.
This is intriguing.
So it is not a means to travel freely back and forth. A pity. I would have liked to see my friends again.
I mean, with some research and stuff, I'm sure we could figure out how to be able to bring others back and forth with us, because the Ascians could do that. So, why not me? Interesting. Now seems like an opportune time to give Zero the parcel Julius prepared for her. I was also wondering, I'm like, when are we going to give her that cute little parcel? Like, because Julius was just so cute with that. So adorable. Oh my gosh. Something for me. Yes, Zero. Yes, Zero. Yes. That's a little parcel for you. There you go. That smell. Food, is it? Yes, it's your favorite. Julius was thinking of you. I recall Julius speaking of the dumplings his mother used to make. Thank you for the parcel and the fond memories. There's more than enough to share with Golbez. Now that he forgoes the aether of others, I'm sure he'll appreciate the sustenance. That's so generous of her, but it's like, Zero. Those are love dumplings. They're love dumplings. I sometimes wonder what the void would be like if culinary traditions flourished here once more, whether it would suffice to break the cycle of mutual consumption. A heartening thought, if nothing else. Yeah, that would be awesome because, I mean, you guys are cannibals at the moment. Like, I mean, these two aren't, but to be able to get rid of the sense of cannibalism that's happening on the void, which I still want to see. There's a couple from the void here that I still want to see, but I haven't brought them up yet. Hopefully they've also made progress on helping things here. And Julius has been added to the codex, and Livingway has been added to the codex. Okay, now I kinda, let's see, where, I like hardly ever look at the codex, so let's see, codex. In my collection? Yes. Okay. Oh, wow, this is... Let's see what Julius's entry in the codex looks like. Like, I wonder, let's see, so, an officer of the 1st Imperial Legion, Julius, whose hardworking nature had earned him the esteem of his superiors, and he was regarded as the most promising of his peers. When Anima was summoned as the 1st and 3rd Legions clashed following Emperor Varus's death, Julius chanced to be reporting the wounded Quintus von Cinna. I'm gonna scale this window larger. There we go. It so escaped the Icon's corrupting influence. His parents and younger sibling, however, did not share his fortune, and they were tempered a mere day before they were due to flee the city, and Julius was forced to kill them in self-defense. That's so tragic. After that tragedy, Julius abided in grief and a hunger in the bitter cold, yet a glimmer of hope remained, for Quintus had dispatched a messenger to the tent. By marshalling the might of the legions garrisoned in the provinces, the legatus aimed to take back the imperial palace, which had been transformed into the monstrous Tower of Babel, Anima's lair. Thence, they would work to rebuild their broken empire, or so he envisioned. The help that arrived was instead the Ilsobar contingent, a company formed by Garlemald's enemies. Their presence aroused fear and suspicion in the surviving citizens, and many vowed to never give up the fight. Yet even as the first maintained its defiant stance, ice began to thaw between Julius and the Levier twins, who sought to establish a dialogue at the risk of their own lives. On a mission to scavenge ceruleum in the city's ruins, Julius painted for them pictures of the imperial capital in better days, of the laughter and song that filled the streets and the grass that flourished during the short, sweet summers. Such heartfelt moments did not continue, for Quintus decided to ransom Alphino and Alize in exchange for the contingent supplies and withdrawal. Julius steeled himself as he arrived at Camp Broken Glass to deliver the demands with the instructions to eliminate the invaders no matter the cost, should negotiations fail. And fail they did. Ere blood could be spilled, however, Commander Lucia Junis revealed to Julius that the 10th had petitioned the aid of the Grand Company of Eorzea. Communication between the legions had broken down, and the 10th itself had suffered a mass desertion of its provincial troops, severely diminishing its capacity for war. In that instance, all hopes for the first were crushed. Later, at the contingent's encampment, Julius found himself among men whom he once might have faced in battle. One offered him a mug of hot soup, along with the earnest words of empathy. Little things had helped him to move forward. Afterwards, Julius himself would fall victim to tempering, but he was thankfully cured and fought alongside comrades both old and new against the threats of the final days. But that danger has since passed. Much of Garlemald has fallen into ruin, and the path to recovery will be long and arduous. Even so, many Garleans choose to remain in their homeland, and the beginning of the establishment of a trade agreement with Radzat Khan, they took their first steps toward a brighter future. Working tirelessly as always, Julius has become a central figure in his community, a role he naturally fell into perhaps due to the rapport he formed with Alphino and Alize, along with the caring instincts he honed as an elder brother. Of late, Elias has struck up a friendship with an inhabitant of another reflection. Wherever she may be, he cannot help but worry for her well-being. What? What a give up? Read all of that for you to give me next to nothing? What? What? So rude. I wanted more. I wanted like some sort of we suspect that he has romantic feelings for her. Come on. Okay, Beacon from Beyond. Zero has something that she wants to discuss with us. Okay. Okay. What we got, Zero? What we got? Until our battle earlier, I hadn't called upon darkness in some time. In truth, I find light a better fit these days. Yes, because before the trial, after we showed up and everything, to help her do much more sweeping damage to a lot of the Void Scent and knock him down a peg and stuff, she did have to switch back into Reaper mode instead of remaining as a Paladin. And then as you can see, like she came back into the trial as Paladin. So she is back in Paladin form at the moment. She mostly fights as Paladin nowadays, but there was a moment during everything to help fight off those minions that she was like, I'm going to go into Reaper mode. Basically fight fire with fire. Ever since you left, we've been roaming the void in search of individuals who would join our cause. Although we return to the Red Moon after sensing Inuo's presence, rarely do we linger in a single location. However, if the interloper you spoke of doesn't tend to seek me out, it would be wise to return to my domain. Why don't you join us? With Inuo defeated, the shore should be in no imminent danger. Okay. I mean, I don't know why we need to go with. I think we need to go back to the source, check on things, but then we can come back. Because, I mean, it's not like we don't have the key that could bring us right back. Just makes sense for us to make sure everything on that side's still good. Make sure we don't have another reflection also trying to merge at the same time. Like, double calamity we for sure don't want happening. Good, we'll wait for you by the crater. Okay. Okay. Sure. Why not? Guess we're stick around here for a minute. Okay, Golbez. There's a teleporter situated between here and the center of the moon. I used it to travel to the surface in days long past, though I seldom had need once my generals were in place. Ikram herself crafted the device that I may lay low servant light. Ironic that we now use it seeking to restore light to the void. I mean, you're not wrong. It is kind of ironic. Ah, forgive my idle reminiscences. We made our descents. Yes, sure. Let's use the teleporter. Let's use the teleporter. Okay. That was not always so. Many who live here now have chosen to do so because they support the cause. Okay. That's good. That, like, not everyone has gotten so lost to the void that they don't want the light. Like, that's good. That's good. Indeed, if our numbers continue to grow, we may require more territory. Thankfully, we were able to harness the residual aether from Barbaricia's domain. Those reserves will enable me to expand mine as the need arises. Right. We had best prepared for our potential guest. Join me in my abode when you are ready. Okay. I want to know... Okay, let's see. Do they talk? That must be Golbez. I would gladly consume his aether if I stood the slightest chance of not being gobbled up first. Okay. What about this one? I waited an eternity for Zeromus to save this world, but my faith was misplaced. In the end, it was Zero that brought us hope. She's the reason I'm coming back here day after day. That's sweet. What about this little fella? Ever since she brought you to this domain, our numbers have swelled. We grow tired of conflict. That's totally fair. Like, who would want to live in nothing but war? Leave me be. Okay. Sure, because you totally look like you would eat me, so I will totally leave you be. Hero's amazing. Truly Golbez is equal in every sense. They seem to really like Zero. How are you faring, mortal? I'm not gonna lie, I was not expecting a voice sit to be like, hey, how you doing? Like, what? You care about how I'm doing? You're the one living in the void, man. See the sun. I've been trained to alter my form just like Zero. I'll be the very essence of beauty. You just wait and see. Aww. Aww. I love it. Like, just... That's so awesome. Oh, we have a Troyan manservant. Okay. And they're... That's hilarious. That is hilarious. No longer will I partake of the aether of other beings, not even if I shrivel and starve. Oh, I walked past. That was my bad. I assumed I needed to go upstairs and stuff, but no, I don't need to go upstairs. I need to go over here. Here we go. Here we go. Here's Zero. What has she found? What? Okay. I imagine you remember these. The transmitters we used to receive light from the first. Memory serves, they work by channeling excess aether left in the wake of the flood into the crystal tower. Using the tower's cross-rift travel capabilities, light is even conveyed onto the 13th and into these devices. I have a mind to use them now, but they need to be set in an elevated location. Your assistance would be greatly appreciated. Okay. Do we need to get more from the first to like basically just use the first to balance the void? Because I mean, we might. I mean, I'm surprised we haven't been seeing after all this. Like we haven't been seeing any sin eaters. Like somehow finding ways to get portals and crap. So like. Okay, let's put one of them right here.
Upon activation, these transmitters will shine with light from beyond. sent courtesy of our ever-watchful friends.
Okay.
They will serve as beacons in the dark for those that would seek me out.
Okay. I'd honestly forgotten about these. I was like, why do we have Algan technology here? And I forgot we did all this. Okay. Oh, hey, that dude. Yes, because he wanted light.
Immortal no less. I did not expect to see you here.
Yeah, it's me. Hi, buddy.
I am Zero, and this is my domain. 'Tis a safe haven for those who abhor conflict. Among those gathered here, many aspire to restore this world to how it once was.
Such a thing is possible.
Well, hopefully.
Indeed. Though how long the endeavor will take, I cannot say. But for those of us abandoned by death itself, what do we have but time to try, and try again?
I mean, she makes a good point.
Very well. This light is ample proof your comrade spoke true. However long it takes to restore our world, you shall have my aid.
Yay.
And you shall have mine.
Alright, let's see. It would seem Ulysses' intervention has helped forge a new bond. Thank you for bringing word to me. I gather you'll head home soon rather than later. I'll not be able to freely return to your domain. Are you certain you wish to leave? Yes. Which, hopefully, us not being able to freely come back here is meant to kind of give signal that, like, we'll see changes. And, like, in order to keep everything balanced in the game and all that stuff, they don't want us coming back here frequently and, like, interrupting that progress and stuff. But let us return to the Red Moon. I'm sure you won't begrudge me a proper farewell. Alright, let's see what they've got for us.
Would you deliver a message to Ulysses for me? Tell him that we're making progress towards rebuilding our home. And I hope that he is too.
I think that they are just so sweet. It's so sweet.
Enuo's Memoria will be safe here. The crystal containing Zeromus has been passed on to our allies in the First.
Uh-huh.
If Enuo's Memoria might serve them in restoring their world, we shall likewise consider its transfer.
A good idea.
how much simpler it would be to aid one another in our respective fights, were it not for these boundaries between us. Safe travels, my friend. We take comfort in the knowledge that you're out there fighting too, wherever you may be.
All right. Finally going back to the moon. Where they're going to be like, where the hell did she even go?
No luck, I'm afraid. It appears she's not in Mare Lamentorum.
Nope. Like, that's also a reason why I'm like, why did I immediately go back? Like, they have no idea where I'm at, and they're probably going to be like, what the crap? Where'd she go? I have a tendency to do this whole disappearing effect. And then be like, oh, we don't know where she went. Like, I feel like it's so unfair to them. Alright, alright. Ah, of course Raha's the one that sees us first.
What?
Always Raha.
Is that?
God, you had us worried. You suddenly disappeared. We didn't know what to think.
I hear. I just like to disappear. See if you guys ever miss me. Hey, David!
Shortly after you
It's
vanished,
going
the
pretty
void
good.
sensing
How are you
curtain
doing?
abruptly ended. We surmised you had a hand in that, but never did it cross our minds that you were fighting alongside Zero and Golbez.
Yes, I just go and disappear on the Scions. Like, I just like, when things come up, I'm just like, shh. I just straight up disappear on them. Like, have absolutely no regard for their feelings whatsoever, apparently.
This golden path you said you traversed wasn't visible to us either.
Okay, so good. I'm so glad that you're doing good. Yeah, like last week, the reason I disappeared for so much on stream is I was dealing with some mental health things and just needed that time to be selfish and focus on my mental health. But I'm so pumped to be back because I've been dying to do the rest of the 7.5 MSQ and been dying to do that with you guys. And but yeah, just mentally, I just could not bring myself to do much of anything. And then my stream schedule, I went ahead and updated it so that I was doing these Wednesday daytimes instead of Tuesday evenings. Yes, thank you. Like there's a couple reasons I switched off of Tuesday evenings. One is because like I have not been sleeping very well, and like last night I was super zombie world, dead to the world basically, and was just like so absolutely exhausted. And honestly, surprised I even stayed awake past 7 p.m. Like that's just how exhausted I was. And no, it's not even because my daughter as to why I'm not sleeping well. It's all just personal stuff as to why I'm not sleeping well. But another reason is like here in a few weeks, my daughter's going to be doing some swimming lessons and everything in the evenings. And Tuesday is one of the evenings that she'll be doing that, and I don't want to be super, super rushed. I want to make sure that stream will have the best quality that I can absolutely have. Yeah, it's difficult, but it's also like part of it is a part of life. Like the main thing that has been very, very weird for me is that like I'm 35, but I'm going through menopause now. And so I'm like, I'm young for menopause, but at the same time I feel old, and it's like it's definitely a jarring experience because those hormones, they mess with your head, they mess with everything. And yeah, so it's like, and that's why I've actually been losing so much sleep. Like it's not even because of like hot flashes or anything. It's just it affects everything. So it makes it so that you don't sleep right, you don't think right. Like there's so many times that like if I'm ever on stream and I'm like mid sentence and then I just stop talking, that's why. Because like the brain fog just gets so thick that like I will literally forget that I was even talking, much less what I was talking about. So it's like, it's absolutely not necessarily a fun experience, but as I said, it's totally a part of life. And the good news is that I got my beautiful daughter before all of this, so like it's not bad. It's just a definitely adaptation and getting through everything. Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of pushing through, and yeah, just adapting. It's a weird thing to say. As I said, like I'm 35. It's a weird thing to say that I have to adapt to what I'm adapting to, but you know, it is what it is. It's just the reality of it. At the very least, it's not like I'm adapting to some of the things that we see in the video games. Like, I can't imagine. like Fred literally disappears from the entire freaking world. And then just walks up and is like, hey guys, what's up? Like, what? Like what? it Thank you. I try not to downplay it too much, but I'm also like I'm also like there's definitely so much there's so many worse things to go through, and it's like it's also like an honor at the same time to go through what I'm going through. Like part of my family history has been like my aunt died at 43. My grandfather on my mom's side died at 45. Like I'm like I'm honored to have the opportunity to go through what I'm going through. I have to remind myself of that sometimes. That it's like there are moments that I get down on myself that I'm like, oh man, this really, really sucks, but it's also I wasn't sure if I'd ever go through this. So I'm like, I'm honored, and well, also, yes. That is totally true. Like it's like, yeah, there totally are things worse in life, but yeah, it is a big deal. And I most certainly will get through it. And there will be days that are most certainly easier than others. Yeah. There are definitely days that I don't look at it very positively. Today is just one of those days I am looking at it at a much, much, much more positive angle. And like most days, I do try to keep positive mind about it. Last week, I was not as successful about that, but most days, I do try to keep positive. And it most definitely helps that I have medicine to like help me keep that positive mind. Like to be like I will be 100% honest about that.
Nor did we
Thank
hear a
you.
voice.
Thank you.
Ethos. Might this be the key's true name?
I also absolutely love these emojis, and I'm so happy that like everybody gets to see them and everything. Like, I absolutely love it. Oh, thank you so much for the follow, Frank. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And okay. So, enough about me for a moment. Back into the mindset of the story and everything. So, they had no idea. Like, they didn't see this golden path for us that appeared with the key and Azim's crystal. And they were like, oh, well, like, because we had already noted that Golbez and Zero did not see it. Like, they were very, very confused as to what I was even talking about. And I heard a voice talking about the key being Ethos, and it said, unite the stars onto one. Which seems... Good. I'm so glad I'm not spoiling anything for you, Frank. Because, like, I originally started working on 7.5 about a week and a half ago, and got to the trial, and there was doing some mental health stuff last week, and finally get to finish this stuff up today. Tried so hard not to spoil. Yes, I love the heart emotes. The heart emotes are so absolutely adorable. I absolutely love them. So much.
While
They are
many
so cute.
mysteries remain, for now, I am glad to learn the state of affairs in the 13th.
Okay, is my character just going to gloss over the fact that, like, the voice told us to unite the stars onto one? Like, we just could gloss over that? We just...
Golbez's suspicion that the barrier twixt worlds has begun to weaken. 'Twould
Okay.
certainly explain the surge in fissures manifesting in the source.
Okay, at least we're not glossing over that part. I am also on the Crystal Data Center. Specifically, I am on Diabolos. At least for my main character here. On Sundays, I stream with a little Lalafell, who is on Hyperion Crystal. Or, not Hyperion Crystal. Hyperion Primal. Oh, nice! I feel like I get a lot of Curl and Goblin happening here, but I am on Diabolos. I'm trying to remember if I have an alt on Goblin. I might have an alt on Goblin. Somewhere. Maybe. I think. I'm not 100% sure. I might have one over there. I have a lot of alt characters. Honestly, it takes me a little bit to remember where all of them are at. I'm pretty sure I've forgotten about some of them.
Yet what could be behind such a phenomenon?
Arianche. What do you mean, what could be behind it? We know the Asians are all gone. I feel like that's totally fair, Frank. And like this expansion, I could manage my main character, and then for stream on Sundays, because I wanted to be as route friendly as possible, I started that new character. But I used to, like, last expansion, I played this game so much that I had my main character that had everything maxed out, and then I had several alts that had their main jobs, plus several others that were maxed out. Like, one of my alts was Dancer main, but she also had Reaper to max. She also had Sage to max, and then I had a different one that had Ninja and Sage and a couple other ones maxed out, and then another one that also had Dancer and Summoner and a few others maxed out. Yes. Like, I came from World of Warcraft, so like leveling was something that I actually like really, really super enjoyed doing. And so leveling in Final Fantasy XIV, I felt like was very much like that. So I still did a lot of that and honestly really, really, really enjoyed it. And it gave me just a little bit more of it just gave me some different things that I could do. Oh, nice. Yeah, I love Ninja. I haven't played it so much this expansion. I was a Ninja main with my main character. Actually, I shouldn't say I was a Ninja main like as though I was Ninja main the whole expansion. I ended last expansion as a Ninja main. Like probably a good half of last expansion. My main was a Ninja main. There was part of it that I had to main Reaper because there was some issues with the servers where timing of everything was very weird, and it was near impossible to do the ninjutsu with Ninja. And I started as Red Mage last expansion, and I ended Shadowbringers as Red Mage for my main. I ended up switching off of Red Mage because I was part of a Savage static, and we had lost a member, and we needed a new member to join, and we ended up recruiting another person that only had Red Mage max. So I temporarily swapped to Summoner. That way they could join and we could still have our proper one class per person criteria met. And not have overlapping buffs and losing of the damage bonus and things like that. And then by the second tier, because the reason I didn't completely switch to a different role, I stayed with the caster role because I'd already gotten some gear for caster. And I wanted to still be able to utilize that gear, but for the second tier, that was when I switched to Ninja. And then not super long into the second tier, we then started seeing the server tick issues, so then I had swapped to Reaper. That way I could still fill the melee role. And then once the server tick issues were fixed, then I swapped back to Ninja. So I had 4 different mains that I had for all of that Savage progression. But depending on the content, I do sometimes like to switch to Warrior. Like, in particular, if I'm trying to do solo content, I do like to play Warrior a lot. Because just so godlike. Oh, that's so you're missing out on so much story there, David. Like there is like I feel like Heaven's Ward is phenomenal expansion. Like it's got so much of a good story. Like I know, like for me going into that Zoe area, it was kind of depressing and sad looking and everything, but its story is so good. Oh, nice. Nice, Frank. Very nice. Which gathering jobs are you going to focus on one gathering, or are you going to work on trying to level all of your gatherers up together? Nice. I feel like that's the way to go with it, especially when it's like there's only the 3. Because then they can share the gear as you're leveling them.
You be? Not a void scent, I'd wager.
Like, sharing that gear really, really helps. And on top of that, like, I feel like mining and botany are both very, very similar, but it helps break it up a bit. I feel like that is totally fair, David. Like, that's how my relationship with my husband is. Like, I love Final Fantasy XIV. I don't have everything maxed out right now, but like I said, last expansion, like I had my main character, everything was maxed out. I had quite a few alt characters with a whole bunch of stuff maxed out. And like I always stayed up to date on a lot of content and everything like that. My husband wasn't so much into it. what ended up actually getting him through everything was because we ended up having an opening on my static, and he was like, "Oh, I actually really want to join." So he got to he was like, let me get through everything, get everything leveled up, so that way I can properly join and all that stuff. But yeah, the story, like, Heaven's Ward is really, really good. Storeblood, I feel like that one, you're either going to love it or you're not. Personally, I love the side content from Storeblood. I didn't as much love the main story, but the side content, phenomenal. But Shadowbringers is chef's kiss. Like that one is my favorite expansion. That was the one that, yes, I did start playing again during Shadowbringers, but I think that one is absolutely amazing. Such a great expansion. So good. Such a good one. Love it. Yes, Shadowbringers is definitely the best.
Greetings.
Yeah, Dawn Trail, I couldn't get as much into Dawn Trail, but I also, like, I had my daughter right before Dawn Trail started, so I was very much only half invested throughout the entirety of Dawn Trail. So, like, I don't think it's an issue on the developers or any of their side as far as Dawn Trail goes. For me, is definitely a my end thing. Like, I've had too much go on in my life the last couple of years for me to be as invested as what I was during Shadowbringers or Endwalker. Yes. So I'm like, definitely not their fault. It might have been the most amazing story, and I might have absolutely loved it had I not had the life changes that I had. But, like, had some pretty major life changes that, yeah, I'm like, that they were going to take priority and everything. But let's see, this, I like her bangs. But let's see what she's got to, what she got to say to us.
I am Helmarut of the Asians.
Okay, so we finally got a name for her, Halmarut.
We are your sworn foes, I know. But on this occasion, will you not put away your arms?
I don't understand why my character is shocked there. Like, we're on the moon. Other people are not here. It's us and the Loporits. Why? What else would have made sense? Why are we shocked? I don't understand why we are shocked by this. Like, it's moments like these that it's like, okay, this is why it's headcanon for so many players that the Warrior of Light is a little dense. Like, it doesn't make sense for it to not be an Asian here. After everything we've been through.
I wish only to talk.
Oh, we got some little butterflies. Okay. Alright, alright.
Thank you for affording me a chance.
Okay. But what do you got to say?
Bereft of the Unsundered, we were under the impression you and yours no longer had cause to continue your activities.
I mean, I guess that part is fair. Yes, this part is some new MSQ for me. This was 7.5, so this is the MSQ that just came up a few weeks ago. And traditionally they only give us part. Yes. So I am in Dawn Trail at the moment. So I am at like the very tail end of the MSQ story. That's where I am at currently. My alt character that I play on Sundays is still very early on in A Realm Reborn. Like she just got done dealing with the Sylph. Is where my Lalafell is at. So she is in a very, 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 very different state. So like for the story for my Lalafell of course would have no idea what this chick is. She would have been so confused by all this. Totally makes sense. But my character that is here, she's had a lot more time to gather a ton of information. And yes, like she should have been able to ascertain exactly who this person, or not necessarily who this person was, but what this person. Like she should have been able to ascertain that she's an Asian. Lalafell, I don't think she's like they are still they're still the mask robed people to her. She doesn't know what an Asian.
That you should reveal yourself at this juncture.
I mean, Y'shtola here is making really good points because, like, Paragons are gone. But also, like, I think Y'shtola is making a bad assumption there because they've been gone a while and we saw Van Daniel doing a whole bunch of stuff still. So it was like, and Van Daniel was sundered. So why there was the assumption that they were doing nothing because they were sundered? I feel like Y'shtola's making a bad assumption there, and that's just not on par for her.
I assume you are the one who bestowed Calyx with the knowledge of summoning and the reflections.
Which makes sense.
Yes, that is correct.
Of course, they had to make him squeak as he came out.
Was it necessary to reveal my present form as well?
Yes. Yes, I feel like it was completely necessary. 100% necessary. Like, I would have been upset if she never revealed to us that you were in a squirrel costume. Or a squirrel stuffed animal, I should say.
Calyx. So he succeeded in transferring his memories after all.
Oh, Raha's pissed. I don't know that I've ever heard him take that tone. That's interesting.
Be at ease. Even were I to occupy a combat-oriented vessel, I would not have the ability to defeat you.
That doesn't mean we gotta be at ease because we don't like you, Calyx. We don't like you. Come on now. Even if you are an adorable stuffed animal right now, we don't like you.
You destroyed my plan, my life's work. I have naught to replace it, nor will I ever regain what I once had.
Oh, boo-hoo. So sad. Yeah, you could see my character super sad about that.
If you wish to speak, Halmarut, Will you not tell us what it is that you hope to accomplish?
I mean, he already said we destroyed his life's work. Or I guess... I don't know what I was thinking there. Alphinaud's addressing her. Not Calyx.
As you know, our star Aetheris was sundered into 4 and 10 shards in the time of the Ancients.
Right. We have the source and the 13 reflections.
As the will of the star, Hydaelyn perpetuated this unnatural division for millennia.
Uh-huh.
And in the wake of her passing, nature has begun to reassert itself. As a wound knits itself together, the star seeks to become whole once more.
Okay.
Yes. It seeks to rejoin with all of its shards. Unlike the one we Ascians attempted to orchestrate, however, the star's rejoining will afford mankind no special treatment.
What do you mean? The rejoining that you Ascians attempted to orchestrate. You were killing a whole bunch of mankind with. You were causing these calamities to happen because there was an imbalance of the elements that was causing the rejoinings to happen. So I don't understand what this... For certain parts, David, I would say, like, some of it, no. Like, watching YouTube videos is fine for some of it, but I feel like there are big moments that you'll probably want to see your character go through those big moments. And I feel like you could probably watch those YouTube videos probably ahead of time to kind of help you gauge when those moments are going to be. But yeah, there are definitely like a few moments that are like really, 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 really big that it has such a huge impact for it to be your character. Like, honestly, one of the ones that I am thinking of is in Shadowbringers specifically. That is a huge, massive moment that I'm like, I would not have wanted to experience that not as my character. Even though my character looks different now and everything, like, experiencing that while playing through and seeing it as my character just totally made it different for me than going through and watching others stream it and stuff, like watching Mr. Happy go through it, or watching Jesse Cox go through it, or watching Miztech go through it. Like, it's not quite the same. Like, yes, they are very entertaining and they do a lot of great commentary as they're going through the MSQ and everything, but it's just those particular big moments, it's just not quite the same.
All life,
yes,
and
it just
matter
doesn't
will be
have the personal
condensed
oomph.
into a single whole and remade for a new beginning. A complete rebirth.
Like, so far, like, this scene, for instance, like, I think watching this on YouTube, totally perfectly fine. Like, it's not a huge, like, nothing is really connecting us personally in this scene. But there are definitely some big personal development and growth moments for our character that I'm just like, it just doesn't quite hit the same. Like, thinking back at like the end of A Realm Reborn, for instance, when you see that you're getting blamed for Nanamo's poisoning and everything, I feel like that doesn't quite hit the same as like watching a YouTuber go through it versus you watching your character go through it. Like, I feel like that moment, even though it's not, yes, I'm like, that was such a big moment. And going through it with your character hits so differently and has that deep connection and that personal oomph compared to watching a YouTuber go through it. So yeah, like I do think quite a few scenes are perfectly fine. And it is something that if you end up finding that you had to skip the cutscene in the moments, if you go to any inn room, there is a table that's called Journey's End. If you go to that journal, you can rewatch cutscenes. So if it's like in the moment you didn't have time to watch it, but you find that you have time later on to watch it, definitely check that table out. Because it will allow you to go into those cutscenes and watch them and re-experience. Like, this would be one of those scenes that I would see at that table after I complete this quest. And then there also is like New Game Plus and all that stuff, but New Game Plus like forces you to go through everything in sequence and doesn't just focus on the cutscenes or anything like that. But like that table focuses just on the cutscenes and things that you missed there, and being able to go through some of that dialogue more specifically. So if for some reason you have to miss some of it, that's another great way to go. That way you can still experience it more like as your character's experiencing it instead of having to watch a YouTuber. You do miss some of the dialogue that way, but you don't miss any of the cutscene dialogue.
Aetheris will return to the way it once was. Hundreds of millions of years past. To a quiet and peaceful time. Long before the light of mankind was kindled.
Oh, no problem. So happy to share that insight. Yeah, it's definitely something that I've had to go back to that table a few times before. Like, for instance, when I was doing Omega raids, I had some people that were helping me go through those raids. And to help be respectful of their time, I was skipping the cutscenes. And so that way we could get the clears of the fight. And then I went back to that table and rewatched those cutscenes when I wasn't going to be taking up their time. And I felt like that was just so helpful, particularly for them, because they'd already gone through it and they didn't want to have to stand around while I was watching a cutscene. So it's like that table has so many great uses. And I feel like it gets underappreciated like all the time. I find it interesting that somehow Hamaru knows that Aetheris is going to go back to the way that it was, and that everybody's going to become the souls that they once were, and not being mankind anymore. Like, what? How does she know that particular part? Like, her being able to tell what Aetheris' will is, wanting this rejoining to happen, I guess somewhat makes sense, but knowing that people will return to how they once were. Like,
Supposing for a moment we believe you. How can you possibly know all this?
Okay, good. I'm not the only one that's like, how would she even know that?
It is an inevitability that I have foreseen since time immemorial.
But that doesn't make sense either, though. Since time immemorial? Like, so you were able. There's no way, because then you would have known the purpose of Hydaelyn. You would have known the purpose of Zodiark. You would have known about those that gave themselves the Zodiark. You would have known about Fandaniel. You would have known about Meteon. You would have known that. Like, I don't understand why the way that the worlds were being joined before was going to spare mankind, but this is not. Like, and yet you didn't have the foresight to approach us to let us know any of this before. Like, she ain't making sense. Something is not adding up about this lady.
A future that awaits should creation be freed from the influence of Hydaelyn and Zodiark.
Okay.
The star is tolerant to life. It holds no grudges, and neither rages nor weeps for being sundered.
Okay.
Yet by the same token, it is indifferent to life's survival.
Is I need to upload noise storage. Okay, let's see. Properties. Okay, we've got sound back. Okay. Okay. So sorry about that, everybody. So sorry. Those that don't know, I am on a Linux operating system, and I am not good with when it comes to sound. And how I have sound configured, it's very, very, very delicate. And yes, me just needing to mute my microphone for just a second was like, guess what? All the sound is just going to decide to not work. So I do deeply apologize for that. Just to give an idea, like I went through everything and I was like, all of my wires, like just muting my microphone, disconnected so many wires, and then unmuting it, connected most of those wires back up, but like all of the OBS nodes went poof. They went away. So it was like all of my sound just was gone. And I was like, oh, well, like I could hear my game, I could hear everything on my end and stuff, but it was like OBS was not connected to everything. And it was just all gone. Yeah, so this is a Pipewire interface. It's specific for Linux sound. And yeah. Dang it, ad. Dang it, Twitch ad. Why'd you have to go into an ad right now? Why now? Dang it, Twitch. Didn't know you were going to go into an ad. I would have told you to hold on. I just came back. Alright, I'm going to hang tight here for a minute because I want to make sure we can get everybody out of ad jail. Yes, I know. That's the good thing about Kick is that you don't have ad jail. But Twitch is like, guess what? Guess what? We gotta throw some ads out here. And sometimes it gives me a warning. This time, I'm guessing just because I had to restart the stream as suddenly as I did, it was like, hey, guess what? We're gonna throw an ad out there. So that way we can keep the pre-rolls off. And it's like, no, not yet, Twitch, not yet. I just needed a few minutes. Let's see. Okay, almost done with ad jail. Almost done with ad jail. One. All right. There we go. Ad jail is now gone. But yeah, the Pipewire interface that it does here is a little bit more of a Linux kind of thing. Each of the operating systems for Linux that I've worked with, right now I'm on Nobara, and I've also used Mint, but both of them use Pipewire for sound, and I had to wire some things this way. Some of these things I've had to create nodes for, like for welcome back. Some of these things I had to like create little nodes for, like I had to create the game audio node and a Discord bus. So that way when Discord does come up, it wires into there, so that way I can actually send Discord into OBS more specifically and everything. It's a little bit more fine-tuned on Windows, but because of how Linux is, gotta do a lot more of that manually. So yeah, that's why I had to restart OBS there. Like I sort of destroyed the world just by pressing a button on my microphone. Yes, Linux is definitely pretty different. Especially from Windows. Even though like I use compositors that make it look like windows, in a sense, because I am using KDE Plasma, because I am using the Nobara Steam HTPC, which uses KDE Plasma under the hood. So it looks more like Windows. But Nobara also could use a GNOME compositor, so it can look more like a Mac. But then on Mint, I use Cinnamon. Also looks very much like Windows, but it could also use KDE Plasma. But it's like user interface at the moment kinda looks like Windows. Kinda. Like if I were just playing games, it would just take a couple of extra tweaks, but for streaming, it takes a lot more extra tweaks. But now this chick is going to explain some things.
And mountains spew fire. Floods wash away the fruits of labor, and icy winds freeze and starve. Countless perish as nature runs its course.
Well, I mean, countless perish as nature runs its course, like that is a part of nature. Death is a natural thing. That's something that these Asians don't seem to understand, but okay.
So many seeds of life have already been lost. Yet in spite of this, people continue to believe that the morrow will come.
Uh-huh. What's your point?
But it will not. For nothing lies beyond the solstice, when all creation is reunited. When that day comes, every last trace of mankind shall be erased.
I don't know that I necessarily believe this chick. Like, not completely. I feel like there's truth to part of her story. But I don't understand how mankind's just going to be 100% erased.
I cherish man's journey.
Like, that doesn't make sense as far as her story goes. Like she's basically saying that history will basically just not have happened. Like, that does not make sense to me.
Despite losing his innocence and being made to live with suffering, he has forged ever onward. Strong, even as he is weak, his is a proud tale in the history of the star.
Yeah, okay. Which does make me wonder how much of... Like, because Halmara was sundered, so how much of her unsundered self she is remembering.
It would be a shame for that tale to end. For all to wither and die, when some might yet survive. Would you not agree?
If a natural rejoining doth lead unto the solstice, then thine intent is to preemptively rejoin the worlds.
Thank you, Ariaje. Yeah. That seems like exactly what she's trying to do. She wants to speed up this whole process. She doesn't want it to just let it happen on its own. She wants it to happen now. But it's like, okay, so the Asians were doing that before. And Emmett had said that the purpose of doing that was to get those that they had lost back, basically. Which was to wipe out mankind. Because, I mean, we weren't alive to him. So it wasn't killing us. Like, he basically said as much to us. So, like, that's where I think her story here doesn't completely make sense. Like, it feels a bit flipped. like, preemptively doing it would wipe us out. And letting it happen naturally, I've thought had a better chance of survival. So,
Correct. It was for this very purpose that Halmarut recruited suitable collaborators from the Reflections.
And naturally only seemed to have done it after the Paragons were gone. And Which, I mean, I guess it makes sense as to why she waited till after the Paragons were gone, because they were gone before Zodiac and Hydaelyn were gone, because that was done because of Fandaniel. But also, why not loop us in then? Why only wait until now to loop?
Individuals like me, who would willingly doom another world in order to fulfill their aspirations. The Winterers, we are called. And if you and yours seek to protect all life, then sooner or later you shall have to contend with us.
The Winter. Okay. Guys, got reasoning for the name of Winters? Like, what?
Even if everything you claim is true, what you've done, Calyx, it's unforgivable.
Wow, pissed.
I do not ask that you be pragmatic, nor do I seek your approval.
Okay, if you don't seek our approval or for us to be pragmatic, then what was the point in even coming and talking to us?
Given your familiarity with other reflections, 'tis only natural that you are averse to our methods. But there is one irrefutable fact that you must understand. Should we take no action at all, the solstice will come, and no one will be left alive. No one.
So you're telling me that even you as an Ascian will be gone? Like, because no one is going to be left. Which doesn't make sense. That's not how nature works. Something would be left.
Of course, should it serve to satisfy your ambition, you are welcome to deal with the reflections as you deem fit. Like the pariah and wanderer who satisfied his own when he brought the star to the brink of ruin to face you.
Okay.
Wait!
I feel like there's a lot to unpack there. There you are. One moment you are standing before me, the next you'd vanished into thin air. Thanks to you, all the voids have been eradicated. The gate lies sealed once more. There's been nary a peep from the crater. Though I can't help but notice none of you seem to share my enthusiasm. Is something wrong? Yes, Living Way, something Something's very wrong. The star seeks to become whole. But that's preposterous. As far as I'm aware, Heidelin made no mention of a natural rejoining. I have to consult the records to be certain. It makes sense as to why Heidelin didn't know, because Heidelin knew what she knew because of our trip to Elpis and information that we gave to Vana. Like that, it makes sense as to why she didn't know, because we didn't about any of them. So, like, so yeah, it's like it makes sense as to why Heidelin wouldn't have mentioned it to the Loperates. Why they wouldn't know. But not before thanking you for dispatching the Voidsent so handily. You well and truly saved the day. Well, yes, we weren't going to let our adorable little Loperate struggle and suffer. Okay. We have trailed to the heavens here, and Alphino continues to grapple with Halmorid's closure. Which, I mean, I do too, to be honest. Like, I'm like, I really don't feel like she is telling the whole truth here. Like, I feel like she picked and chose what she wanted to share with us, and she told us part truths, because I feel like that's a lot of what the Asians tend to do. The implications of the solstice and the winter schemes, as well as our approach moving forward, will take time to consider. To that end, I believe we should gather and speak in person. And by we, I mean all our fellow Scions. Oh, so we are going to join again? For a change of pace, why don't we convene at the Rising Stones? I'm sure Tataru and others would be happy to meet us there. A fine idea in many ways. Our return is long overdue. I mean, I kind of want to go back to the first and go back to the Crystal Tower and see if there's a way to commune with Elidibus. And get his thoughts on this. No doubt we could all use some respite after Garamald, but I trust there are no objections. Okay, so we're just... Of course, this is going to be the part where we take our break before 7.55. Just settled then to the Rising Stone. Alright. Been quite some time since we've gone to the Rising Stones, but also, like, before this expansion, the Scions disband so that we can basically work in the dark again. And now it looks like we need to join back together. But let's see what they've got to say. As one big group. Sure. Okay, Alphino. What are you thinking? Everything has changed since we last gathered here. No doubt Tataru is chiefly responsible for the prevailing state of tidiness. Well, yeah, we haven't... Like, of course she would have to be the one responsible for that. We haven't been here. Speaking of whom, she and a great many of our comrades are en route. Let us wait for them a while longer. Yeah, because, like, we've been doing all this without, like, a Stinian, for instance. We need a Stinian here. Where's he at? I need someone with lower intelligence than the Warrior of Light here.
Long it hath been since last we gathered here.
For a second, I thought Urianger was going to be like, don't worry. Still not on their side. Considering how many times he had to flop sides stuff, you know?
Though our order's dissolution was indeed in name only. Thereafter, we did largely operate independent of one another.
Yes, that's true. Like we had the twins up in Garlemald. Some of us were in Tuliolol and on different sides. Like,
All of which is to say, full glad am I to stand in such esteemed company once more.
yeah. I feel like it's good to have the Scions all back together.
Apologies for our delay.
Eh, Hori Boulder. And none of you brought Astidian with you. Where the hell is Astidian in all this? Come on, guys.
We're reporting for duty, as bid.
Well, yes, you should.
This is everyone that we could round up on short notice. The others are still en route. Estinian alone we weren't able to make contact with. But we're working on it.
Okay. We're able to make contact with Astidian. All right, all right.
No doubt his link pearl is buried at the bottom of his bag.
I mean, at least he probably isn't carrying too many things because he probably can't afford to buy too many things.
Knowing him, he'll turn up when we least expect it.
Now, as much as I'd like to savor our reunion, Tataru tells us there have been developments. Will you apprise us of the details?
Yeah, probably should. And honestly, they need to be apprised of a lot. A lot of stuff. No more summer vacation.
The Winterers and the Solstice.
Yes.
The veracity of Halmarut's claims remains unclear. Yet it cannot be denied that, in his bid to convert the living into endless, Calyx was privy to knowledge of the reflections and more.
Yes, he was... I mean, he was privy to that only because of her, though. So, like... And we also... We know she's Assia. She revealed the Assia mask. Like, people can't just do that. So it's like, that definitely means that is an Assia there. So, But her extra claims, we have no idea if what she claims is true about the world's rejoining, meaning that everyone's going to be gone.
And the Winterers are formed of others, like him.
Yes.
In light of the recent Void Sense incursions, I believe it would be wise to treat the Solstice as a genuine threat. The problem is how to deal with it.
Which is true, because, I mean, we did have
Both the
Golbez
source
say...
and the reflections are home to irreplaceable life. I would protect them all if I could.
Well, obviously, what Ali say. But, like, even Golbez said that he could tell that the Red Moon yearned to rejoin with the Source. So, like... I don't feel like him mentioning that is a coincidence, because he obviously doesn't know anything about this Assassian. So least I'd assume not.
But if doing so means ushering in complete annihilation... then what can we possibly do?
I wonder, was Hydaelyn aware of the solstice?
No.
Given
I
that
doubt
we
it.
had no knowledge of it when you journeyed to Elpis, you couldn't have warned Vanar.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said earlier. Like, there's no way I could have warned Vanar. So it makes no sense for Vanar to have even known about it. So it makes sense as to why Hydaelyn didn't even bring it up with the Loppers, because she just didn't know. She didn't know. She actually didn't even know that she needed to become Hydaelyn until we journeyed to Elpis and warned Vanar about it.
So it is entirely possible she was unaware. But in the course of sustaining the Sundered Star, she may have glimpsed this eventuality.
Perhaps. And I think either one of these responses is totally viable. Like, she either had no way of knowing, or she knew and just chose to trust us. Because at the end of the day, she chose to trust us. That was why she became Hydaelyn. She trusted in what we said. I am going to hit snooze on that because I am well over on time. I was actually going to stop stream at 2, but I want to make sure I finish this MSQ before the end of stream. So I think I'm going to go with she chose to trust us, because I feel like that is true.
So she believed that we could overcome this trial as well. Or rather, that the choice was ours to make.
I believe I am close. Like, I feel like I believe we're about to hit a respite here and have a pause in the MSQ, while everybody sort of gathers their thoughts, in a sense, as to how to proceed with this whole scenario. And they mentioned needing respite after having dealt with the Void Scent coming to the source and everything. Like, they're like, oh, we could all use some respite and da 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 da. So, like, I think we're going to, after I finish this cutscene, I'm going to be at the current pausing point for MSQ, and then it will resume at 7.55, because usually the 0.5 part of the expansion, they usually split MSQ between the initial lease of 0.5, and then they give the rest of it at 0.55. So that way they don't reveal too much of what's to come in the next expansion. And because, like, they'll probably reveal who's going to have a new job for the next expansion, for instance. And they don't want us to see that before they reveal it at the upcoming FanFest event. So they split that MSQ up to not just pace us, but to help us from spoiling ourselves for everything that is to come. So, like, I think we're at that here we're going to be at that natural pausing point in the MSQ before they continue onward.
Whichever it may be, it is we who must find the answer.
Which is absolutely true. I do think that we have to, at the end of the day, we have to come up with the answer, whether she knew or not.
We who live in the here and now.
It'd be interesting to see what we end up doing.
Perhaps we could take a recess? Oh, I dare say everyone could use a rest.
Yes, I think Tataru saying that is very much saying we are going to take that.
Indeed. We have ample food for thought, and it would be good to catch each other up.
Which is true, because, like, there's been a lot that's
Ere I
happened.
forget, Heron, I believe you should keep the key, Ethos, in your possession.
Well, yeah, I would say so, Y'shtola.
After all, it seems that is one mystery I am not destined to unravel.
I mean, I know you are eager to get back to the first so you can spend time with Runar again, but yes, like, it is a part of, it has something to do with the Zim, and it just makes sense for us to keep it, being as we are a Zim. Yeah, okay, yeah, so it's going to be like, talk to everybody here before we take our respite, so let's see what Ultra Barrier, or Ultra Boulder here says. Enor and I were training in Gridania when the Voidsent attacked Twellswood. Thankfully, we were able to fend them off with the help of the twin adders. When I heard the invasion had already spread across the star, I realized the gravity of the situation and ordered a confidential report sent to the other Scions. That's why Tataru was so quickly apprised. Thanks to you, we were able to make haste for Garlemald. While circumstance and duty may keep us apart, we remain bound by a common purpose. Indeed, may that purpose continue to guide us now that we stand together once again. Alright, Y'shtola, what do you gotta say? Judging by your guide, Clements, your studies have been productive. Yes, it looks like she's training to be a astrologian. Indeed, I have more or less mastered the fundamental principles of Starlian astrology. Or astrology. Oh man, I'm gonna charge a little bit here because I see that we have another ad break, or it's saying ad starts in 5 minutes again. Actually, I'll hit snooze just in case. At one point, I considered exploring other healing arts, but decided to persevere with more focused training to better leverage my skills on the battlefield. I don't think I'd be much use on a battlefield these days. I could scarcely hold my bow steady, let alone hit a target so sorely bereft of brotherly administrations as I am. I knew you still required constant supervision. Yes, be gone, ads. We don't have time for you right now, ads. You two haven't changed in the slightest. It makes me wonder how our colleagues that couldn't join us today are faring. Yeah, poor girl being an archer, being like, I can't even hold my bow steady. Sacred, Urianger, have you bros not had enough bromancing time during your summer vacation? After Urianger and I went off on our own, we decided to spend some time exploring Zaktoral. We never had the chance to visit during the Rite of Succession, you see. We journeyed east through Loanzinta, I'm sure I butchered the pronunciation of that, before heading up the coast to the frigid northern reaches, where they revere the storied beasts of the sea. The excursion only served to reinforce just how diverse Tural really is. We also met with the Wallaki. Though we had not the time to study their arts at length, we were privy to several intriguing demonstrations. With that, we could have indulged our curiosity further and traveled to yet more distant lands. For better or worse, pragmatism tempered our wanderlust. Suffice it to say, we still have plenty to see of the continent. I should very much like to return, given the chance. I mean, at least they're being all chipper and positive. Alright, Hoary Boulder. What we got? Hilton and I remained in Corvos to monitor the situation among the Garleans and the Corvosi. Though seldom smooth sailing in the time the region failed, we were able to return. I understand the Garlean community has made great strides in improving relations with other peoples. That's good. Hearing that, I feel renewed zeal for resolving the issues in Corvos. Then perhaps you'd like to hear more about the Garleans' accomplishments from me and the twins. It might stroke that fire even hotter. Good. Alright, Alphino, what you got for me here, bud? It was by no means an easy decision, but the solstice is now our paramount concern. Alize and I opted to formally withdraw from our efforts in Garlemald. After all, anything we could do to protect our world will also serve to keep the Garleans safe. Julius and his comrades are already working towards a brighter future on their own. Obviously, I'm more worried about us. It's so difficult to see a the path ahead. But hopefully we can get through this and return to Garlemald with our heads held high one day. Indeed, in the meantime, let us prepare a letter for Euless and the community. We mustn't let despair stay our hand. It's true. Alright, Tataru. Sweet little Tataru. Sweet little Tataru. I'll give you a head pat. Yes. Yes, Tataru. Yes, Tataru. Alright, what you got for me? What you got for me, little Tataru? Seems everyone has much and more to discuss with one another. Anyway, you're overdue for a proper break. Peace and quiet will help you think. Feel free to make yourself comfortable in Dawn's respite. Or in Dawn's respite. Okay. Alright, what's this little cutscene going to give us? What additional tidbits of information are we going to see of Evercold here? Okay. I'm just staring at the moon.
Of course, should it serve to satisfy your ambition, you are welcome to deal with the reflections as you deem fit.
Okay, I'm just reflecting on what she said there. Okay.
Like the pariah and wanderer who satisfied his own when he brought the star to the brink of ruin to face you.
I detest evenings such as this. Too bright, too stimulating. The mind distracted by the inconsequential.
What do you want? What do you want, Calyx?
You needn't be so wary.
Thanks for the follow, sir.
I merely come to offer information before my departure.
Alright, we got this stuffed animal squirrel here. Why? What does he want with us? Hello, hello.
Halmarut and I will soon cross the rift to observe the enactment of another Winter's plan.
Okay, so we have... Okay, so... Regardless of how we... Like, whether we are acting as a Zim or whether we're acting as a Warrior of Light that's trying to prevent Sunderings or anything like that, like, regardless of that, we're worried about... We need to be worried about another Winterer trying to do shit. Okay.
Our destination is the 4th.
Okay, and they did already tell us at FanFest that we are going to the 4th. So that's not new information. So this is Dawn Trail. This is the very, very tail end of the current Dawn Trail MSQ. The very, very, very tail end of it. Like, I think this is the last cutscene that we have at the moment. Yes! Yes, Endwalker's such a good one. Yes, FanFest is indeed a very fun convention to go to. I didn't get to go to this most recent one, but I did go to the one for Dawn Trail back in Vegas. I did get to go to that one, and it was an absolute blast. It seemed like they addressed a lot of the issues that they had in Vegas. Because like in Vegas, there wasn't enough seating and everything, which is why I think that this last one, they decided to opt for Anaheim instead to better accommodate all the guests and everything. But yes, it is totally fun, especially if you have friends in the game. You can meet up with like FC mates and all that stuff. It is totally, totally, totally fun. Yes, Shadowbringers is my favorite expansion, but they definitely latch on to a lot of the stuff from Shadowbringers and keep running with it in Endwalker. Like, Endwalker is an absolute phenomenal expansion. The post stuff I wasn't able to get as hooked into with Endwalker, whereas like Shadowbringers, like it was from start to finish with Shadowbringers, I latched onto it, and Endwalker, all of the 6.0 stuff, all of it I really, really latched onto. Like such, yeah, the post stuff does always seem a bit rough. Like I felt like Stormblood post stuff especially was rough, and obviously like a Realm Reborn. Don't even get me started of a Realm Reborn post stuff. Like that was, that one was painful. But yeah, the good thing is like Dawn Trail, in my opinion, started off slow, but like I said earlier in stream, like I had some IRL stuff that made me not get as hooked onto Dawn Trail, and I feel like this post stuff from Dawn Trail is actually like really, really intriguing, and is really setting us up now for the next expansion.
A world locked in ice, whose lands are blanketed in thick clouds. In order to survive, man has fled to the skies, using great magics to establish new civilizations.
Okay, so they did talk about this at FanFest, talking about how on the 4th they had to go to the skies because the ground was so frozen and dealing so badly with ice. But we didn't get to see that so much in everything. Ooh, crap! I can't snooze ads again. Okay, but power through this because I want to make sure that I can finish this before ads start trying to roll. Yeah, why tell me where you're going?
I have my own designs I would see realized. Nothing more.
That's squirrel stuffy. Like, I really just want to kick this character in the face.
Believe me or don't, as you like. For all I know, you lack the means to follow us anyway.
For all you know, I lack the means of... Sir, I don't think that's true. Not just because of FanFest, but we also just went to the 13th in a way that shouldn't have been possible. We have a key. So... Sorry, bud. I think you're wrong.
What Halmarut said to you earlier.
Yeah, what you got?
She suggested that dealing with the reflections might satisfy your ambition. But is that truly so?
What do you mean?
You have seen battles beyond counting, have defeated even the fear of death. Is there some conclusion that you seek, no matter the cost?
I'm not going to answer.
I will share with you a truth.
Oh, Calyx. Calyx is being as annoying as a Realm Reborn Alpha right now.
We each have an ambition that we wish to fulfill. To that end, we may share information with one another, but we do not necessarily share the same beliefs. Just as you and yours decried my actions, I find those of my fellows objectionable.
Okay.
Be that as it may, it is the culmination of our lives' works that we would bring to the world, fruits born of undying devotion, daring aspiration, and unwavering ideals. No matter how we are reviled, no matter what we must steal. Our actions will be vindicated by those who abide in the future we create.
That's a weird way of looking at it, man, but...
In your benevolence, you may seek to save everything and everyone. But once all is consequently consigned to oblivion,
we don't have proof that that will happen.
Your noble deeds will amount to nothing more than folly. For no living soul shall remain to judge them.
I mean, there's definitely plenty to think about, even without Squirrel Stuffy coming and talking to us with his freaking A Realm Reborn Alphino annoyingness. If shattered stars are doomed to mend, how turns the key to Winter's End? Hey, Euler! Actually just caught me right at the tail end here. Okay. We're about to have an ad jail. Sorry, guys. So... just finished the MSQ. I actually went for way longer than I originally intended today. I only planned on streaming until 2. But I really wanted to make sure that I got through the MSQ for today. Because I especially had put it off so much. And I didn't want it put off anymore. So, to talk a little bit about upcoming streams and everything, I'm gonna talk slower than what I was before, because, like, I was rushing before, trying to make sure that I could get through the cutscenes before ad jail struck. But now ad jail is still going for like another 30 seconds or so. So upcoming streams. So Tuesday nights I will no longer be streaming. At least for the time being. Like I said earlier in stream, I have not just been dealing with mental health stuff, but also like there are things that are affecting my sleep and everything like that. Like last night, I was surprised I was up past 7. Like I would not have been a pleasure to watch during stream. And I am fully aware of that. I would have been boring. And I want to make sure that I can bring the best viewing experience possible. Okay, now I can talk normal. Yes. I was like, I can talk normally instead of talking slow now that we have everybody back from commercial break now. But Tuesday nights, I will not be streaming on Tuesday nights. Instead, we will see this Wednesday daytime stream starting at noon. At least for a little while here. Because I have not just my mental health and all of that stuff, but also like I have some stuff for my daughter that's going to pick up a few Tuesday evenings. So to better accommodate stream and all of that, I wanted to move to a daytime stream. As far as streams the rest of this week, all of the streams the rest of this week at the moment are all still planned as a go. So I should still be streaming Friday night for my usual 8 to 10 slots. Still as my main character. I have not quite decided what I am going to work on, especially now that the MSQ is completely caught up on. We don't see the MSQ bubble on my screen. It's not hiding behind my character. The only thing hiding behind my VTuber avatar is just my chat window. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to work on Friday. Might pick back up with the variant dungeon, might pick up some other stuff. Not 100% sure yet. And then Sunday, still going to have my usual 1 to 3 slot. And with Sundays are always going to be Sprout Sundays, where I work on my Lalafell Sprout that was created earlier this year. And Boba will be continuing through MSQ. We got our second Prey Return to the Waking Sands happening. The Prey Return to the Waking Sands counter will appear back on stream for that. I still haven't made it pretty yet, but I will work on trying to make it look a little bit better than it did. Hopefully before stream on Sunday, but if not, there will still be a that. Okay, I could totally do some PvP on Friday, and hopefully, like Euler, hopefully I'll also have a hunt train. So that way I could show you some of the hunt train stuff, because I know we were talking about that for augmenting your gear and everything. Because those sacks of nuts, there we go. I wasn't hitting shift. Sacks of nuts, those are so amazing for augmenting your gear, because unlike doing your weekly alliance raids, you don't have that weekly cap when it comes to sacks of nuts. And especially in times like right now, when you have multiple instances of zones, I know some of them are Endwalker zones at the moment, but you still get sacks of nuts from Endwalker hunts too. So it's a good idea to still do your Endwalker hunts, to do your Shadowbringers hunts, to do your Dawn Trail hunts, and hop onto all of those trains. And the typical norm for those is to, when they get announced, you go to that world and you join a party finder for those, because definitely as a party, you get more nuts if you are with party. So hopefully we have a train pop during stream on Friday, because then I can also do a hunt train. But yeah, I will totally do some PvP, so that way I could show some of that off. I do mostly play Summoner for PvP though, as you see with a few front lines. And it's mostly because I'm like, I don't want to relearn every job, because all of their actions and abilities and everything are just so different when it comes to PvP. But yes, I could totally do some PvP on Friday, and hopefully some hunt trains as well. But with that, as I said, like, I am like super way over on stream time today. I had not planned on streaming nearly this long, but as I said, I really wanted to get through that MSQ. It killed me to go this past week and a half of not getting through that trial and getting the rest of this story and seeing exactly what we're going to see in Evercold. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. And I really do appreciate everybody for being so patient with me. As I said, I'm so sorry that I went for the last week and a half of not streaming. Like, it has, mental health. It was something that I definitely wanted to make sure I prioritized. Not just for myself, but I had some people in my life that, like, they were going through some really hard things. And I feel like this time of year is especially going to be really hard for them in upcoming years. And I really want to make sure that I am strong for them. But thank you all so much for always being amazing, always being so patient with me, and hanging out with me during stream and everything like that. And I hope to see you all on Friday. I will be streaming at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So that will be 5 p.m. Pacific time for anybody that is out on the West Coast. And if you have not joined the Discord or the Fluxer servers, I do have alerts for those for anytime I go live on your preferred platforms, because I stream to Twitch, YouTube, and Kick, all three. If you type !Discord or !Fluxer, either one of those does give you a link to the servers to be able to join them, and you can opt in for the alerts if you want the ping. YouTube, I will say, fires off early every single time, because as soon as I go into anything to try to edit the titles or anything like that, it immediately sends out that ping, because it realizes it thinks I'm going to go live right that second. So YouTube pings especially go out a little bit early, but Twitch and Kick wait until I actually have that live marker up and gives that ping. But But I also have those pings on Fluxer if you are concerned about privacy things like I was about TikTok. Like, I know Discord has not violated privacy nearly as much as TikTok has, but if it is something that you are not a part of, if you decided to ditch Discord because of privacy concerns or anything like that, I do also offer Fluxer, and I do have bots there that I self-host and give alerts and stuff like that on there too. I also have alerts for some of my socials, not all of them, but I do cross-post any of my videos that whenever I do eventually get back to recording videos. I'm really trying. I'm so sorry. So sorry. So sorry. I'm super far behind on those videos. But when I do get back to posting any videos that I was posting on TikTok, if you are like me and are like, nope, I'm done with TikTok. I don't want them knowing my cell phone's area code just because I have the app installed on my phone and it knowing my location that way. And you're like, nope, gotta delete that app. If you're like me and did that, and have absolutely no interest in interacting with TikTok before, don't worry. Do know that anything that I was posting to TikTok, and I will continue posting to TikTok, I just have to do it a different way now. I also cross-post all that content to YouTube and to Instagram as well. So I try to cross-post as much as I can. That way people can get access to things on whatever their platform of preference is. But with that, as I said, thank you all so much again. I really wish I had a confetti button in OBS. Like, in Meld, I had a button that I could just press and I would shoot confetti for you guys. But know that in spirit, I am throwing confetti at all of you and saying thank you all so much. And I really appreciate all of you. And I hope to see you guys again on Friday. And have a wonderful and fantastic rest of your Wednesday.